All right, guys, in today's video, we're talking about 3 signs that you are lying to yourself. Now, it's very important to be aware of when we lie to ourselves and how we're lying to ourselves, because wherever we're not accepting the truth in our life, we are suffering. If you are lying to yourself about, I'm happy with my job, but you're really not, you're going to suffer. If you're lying to yourself about something in your relationship, I'm okay when my girlfriend does this, but you're not, you're going to suffer. Now, of course, there's other skills that you're going to need to be able to fix those issues you're having. But step 1, fixing any problem, is being aware that it is there in the first place. So if you're not aware, then you can't even go about finding a solution. And that's why it's important to be able to detect when you are self-deceiving, when you are lying and being inauthentic to yourself. When we think about lying, we often think that other people lie to us, but we don't think about how we lie to ourselves. And I promise you, you probably lie to yourself more than anyone else lies to you. Even just telling yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, can oftentimes be a lie to yourself. So without getting too carried away here, let's get right into this list. The first red flag that might indicate you are lying to yourself is if you are having very strong emotional reactions with regard to something, especially defensiveness and discomfort. Now, maybe you're in a relationship, maybe you have a friendship, and somebody brings something up. Hey, I didn't appreciate that you did X, Y, and Z. And you immediately have an emotional reaction of being angry, and you immediately start to get defensive, and you tell this person off, and you're really uncomfortable that they said that to you. Now, that's a strong indication that what they said probably has a lot of truth to it. And they're just being a good friend and bringing up something that they feel needs resolution. So having a strong emotional reaction without being able to detect it isn't going to get you or your friend to where you want to be. You're not going to get closer to any kind of resolution, even if they're mistaken in what they brought up. So if you do have a strong emotional reaction, it is a skill in and of itself to be able to watch that reaction and look at it and say, okay, why am I feeling this way? Where's that discomfort coming from? It's because what they said, a part of me deep down feels like it's true, and I'm insecure about that. And that's why I'm getting angry and defensive, because I don't want to accept that truth about myself. This is a very common thing people do, right? They get angry and defensive when someone brings something up, when someone confronts them on something, because they don't want to admit the truth to themselves. Perhaps a character flaw they have. There's many different types of contexts that this can apply in, but this is a very common one. So this is really going to help your relationships, and it's really going to help you in your life and being able to develop your character and grow as a person. If you can begin to detect that more often than not, defensiveness, strong emotional reactions, and discomfort in response to confrontation can often be a sign that you are lying to yourself. So now you know if you have a strong emotional reaction, investigate it before you act on it and just start yelling at your friend or letting the emotional reaction just drive the car, right? Be aware of your emotional state, reflect on it, see why it is the way it is, and choose to act from a more conscious place after that. And the way you're going to be able to actually take a second and self-reflect on your emotion as it arises is to develop some emotional intelligence, some emotional maturity and awareness through meditation. Now, when you practice meditation, the reason you develop emotional intelligence and awareness is because you get better at not being reactive. You get better at being emotionally responsive, taking time to observe your emotions, be aware of them, be conscious of them, reflect on them, and respond accordingly rather than just reacting right away. That's the difference between a reaction and a response. So the more you develop your meditation practice, the more you will have that buffer where you can reflect on your emotions rather than just reacting to them very quickly, and being very defensive and really just unaware. Okay, the next red flag that you might be lying to yourself is if you have inconsistencies. So one example of this is you say one thing, but your actions don't reflect it. If you say, I'm gonna work out 5 times a week, but your actions don't reflect it, you know you're lying to yourself. If you say, I'll do it tomorrow, but your actions don't reflect it, you know that you have this tendency to lie to yourself. If you say, oh, I love my job, but you wake up in the morning unmotivated to go to work, kind of upset that you have to, feels like you just don't really have a choice, then you're probably lying to yourself. So this one's a little bit more straightforward in that sense. If your actions and your words are inconsistent, then you're lying to yourself. And it's often easy to do this because it's not a commitment that we're making to someone else. If you tell someone else, hey, let's meet for dinner on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, come Tuesday at 7 o'clock, if you're not at dinner, then you have someone to answer to, right? You either have to postpone or replan the arrangements or just show up. But if you tell yourself, I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow morning, and then you wake up and you're feeling lazy and you just hit snooze on your alarm clock, you have no one to answer to but yourself. So oftentimes this can feel very easy for people to do, to be inconsistent with their words and their actions. But when you do this, when you make a habit out of lying to yourself like that, your self-respect, your self-respect and the integrity that you have to yourself with your own word just loses all of its value. And that is going to carry over to all areas of your life. So I highly, highly encourage you to support your word. If you say something, give it meaning, give it purpose, and follow through with it. Try to be someone who means what they say. If you say you're going to do it, follow through with it. Even if, and especially if, it's your word to yourself, because that can often be the easiest to violate. But you don't want to develop that type of pattern. It's just not good. It's not healthy. And you can see how having that pattern gives you a way out of any task that you want to accomplish. So that's really going to hold you back. Any progress you want to make in any field will be much harder. So don't make that a habit, and you will be way, way, way more productive in your life. And you will feel better about yourself. Your self-image will be one of integrity. Now, to detect that, you can really detect it in retrospect. But there's also a part of you deep down that knows, am I really going to do it tomorrow? Or am I just putting it off and making an excuse? Can I just do it now? Is it feasible? I should probably just do it now. That's something that comes with time. Set the intention to know when you're just making excuses and when you're repeating an old pattern that you have and not keeping your word. And also, when push comes to shove, know, okay, I said I'm going to do it. I should do it. The other night when I left the house, I was with a friend and I had a little bit of a mess, but we were going to go somewhere. And I said, you know what? I'm going to just clean up when I get home. And then I got home a little bit late that night. And when I got home, I said to myself, I said I was going to do it when I got home. And now I got to pay the price. Now I got to do it. Me a few years ago might have easily just said, I'll do it in the morning. And now I've put it off twice. Now I put it off once, lied to myself about doing it, and then put it off again. So what's to stop me from just lying to myself in the morning? So sometimes, yeah, it is feasible to say, I'll do it tomorrow or I'll do it in a few hours. But if you say that, make sure you follow through. Make sure your word counts for something. All right, now the third way that you can tell if you are lying to yourself is if there is a misalignment with your actions and your values. Now, this is similar to the other one, but it gets its own whole separate point here for a reason. Now, if you take some time to reflect on your daily actions and then what your values are, what your top values are, and you see significant gaps between what you do in a day and what you really value, then it could be for a few reasons. One, maybe you're just addicted to social media and you waste a lot of time and you don't do what you value. Maybe you say you value going to the gym and taking care of your health and fitness, but you don't do that because it's difficult. So one reason that there might be a gap between your actions and your values is because it can be rather difficult. But the other reason is because maybe you're not being truly honest with yourself about what matters most to you. Now, if you did the exercise that I just said, that's already a start to becoming more honest with yourself about what matters most to you. If you write down what you do in a day and then what you really, really value, and you see that there's a gap, well, now you can take those values and see, oh, truthfully, I really do value these things a lot more than what I'm currently doing in a day. And if there's some kind of overall dissatisfaction with life that you're going through, that could be a big part of it. Oftentimes it is. It's because you don't give a shit about what you spend a lot of your time doing. Maybe it's the work you do. Maybe it's the job that you have. You don't really care about it. And I think it is very, very important to live in alignment with what you value and be truthful about it. Be honest with yourself about what it is that you value so that you can be unapologetic about living in alignment with those values. And that is going to take so much suffering away from your life. It's going to help you be in a natural, authentic flow with life if you live in alignment with your authentic values, despite how unconventional they might be, despite what other people might think or say. I know for me personally, martial arts is a really big value of mine and everything that comes with it. So I train jiu-jitsu 5 days a week. That's very unconventional. Not a lot of people live the same life. Not a lot of people value it the same way I do, and that's perfectly fine. It's my life to live the way I want it. Your life is your life to live the way that you want it. So live in alignment with your values and don't be dishonest about what it is that you really care about. And once you accept the truth about what it is that you really care about, align your action with those values. All right, guys, those are 3 ways that you can detect if you are lying to yourself and how to stop lying to yourself relative to those 3 points as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. If you want to work with me more closely, you can book a free coaching call. There's a link in the description down below. And there's also a link for a free resource for you guys. It's a life audit workbook. If you're into self-reflection, if you've watched this video the whole way through, I'm guessing you very much are, you can go ahead and get that life audit workbook. It's a great resource. I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.